Hey guys, welcome back. Do you remember when my wife recovered these old Grand Prix chairs and they look fantastic? She's at it again. So you may be asking, why is that lovely seat not in there? A couple of reasons. Main reason being, the only reason I had the chair in position was to set up the brake pedal and the steering, which is now done. So the seat doesn't need to be in here anymore. I had to say seat because someone reprimanded me saying that chairs live in the kitchen and seats live in a car, so there you go. So they don't need to be in here anymore, and I can get on with more interior stuff, namely handbrake cable and floor and panels and all that kind of dirty stuff that I need to get on with. Second reason is Ailsa is making me custom gear gaiter and handbrake gaiter, and as you can see it's a pretty awkward shape she's going to have to make. So the next segment will be all Ailsa. And I do have other exciting news. My glass is nearly ready. Either today or tomorrow I should have my glass for the car. The only thing I'm missing, well, the only thing my glass guy is missing is the blueprint, the pattern for the rear window. He's got everything else, so I'm going to have to make a cardboard template for the back window. And what he suggested doing was make the template the full size of the space, and make another template the full size of the space of one of the quarter windows, which is already cut from a pattern, and then he can work out the size difference between the one he's made and the one he still has to make, because if I make a full size pattern out of cardboard, it's not going to be the right size for the glass. So very complicated, but hopefully, as I say, I'll make a pattern, and either today or tomorrow I'll take the pattern along. Mark will cut the glass, the last remaining section, while I wait, and I'll have all my glass. As I said before, I've got the door glass and the little quarter door glass panels as well that I got from Ted. So the only thing left would be the rubber seal that you get. I'd rather not use the sort of solvent, you know, that rubbery stuff that you get in a tube. I'd rather not use that if I can get the proper rubber, because that stuff is a nightmare to get off again when I do decide to do it properly. So we'll see. If I can get the rubber stripping, sealing, insert, whatever it's called, then I'll use that. Okay, over to you, Ailsa.
This gear stick looks like it needs a shift gaiter, and the handbrake, although it would be nice if it was connected, that looks like it needs a gaiter also. So this gaiter was one that I made for the hot rod previously, or the rat rod rather. So the problem is it's a little bit too short, and it's also just a bit too big here, so that needs to come in a bit, and this needs to have the skirt extended to cover one of David's brackets. So I'm just going to use my trusty measuring tape to measure that. I can't do it one-handed though. Most detailed sketch here of what I'm trying to do. First of all, we've got this gaiter. This is my section that I'm going to put on the bottom to make it a bit bigger. And we're going to sew it here. Okay, so it has a sleeve just basically roughly sewn on the bottom. I'm just going to flip it over with its little skirt, shall we say, on the bottom. I'm just going to take another seam around here just to stiffen that join up a bit. So yeah, I'm just putting a little kind of top seam just to tighten this join up. And the last thing was this section at the top. When I originally made it, I forgot that you could take the ball part off the top of the gear knob, but obviously that unscrews, so I don't actually need this big opening that I made. So I'm just going to sew it up tighter. I'll take it from kind of down there and redo the top part, so I'm going to do that now. Right, so I've sewn that seam here to make it a little bit tighter, but I still need to make the top a bit tighter. So what I've done is I took some elastic like this, attached it to a safety pin that I fed through the hole, and then I sewed the end of the elastic on there. And it's a bit hard to do this with one hand, but if I push that, the safety pin should appear. There we go. I'm going to pull that all the way through and then sew the other end, and that will make the little collar at the top. Right, so there we go. I pulled that through. So the little backward forward seam there. So now all we need to do is chop off this extra bit. There we go. And that's it. Got the elasticated collar, so I'm just going to sew up there to finish it off, but before that we'll maybe do a trial fit on the car. Right, so this was my sketch for the handbrake, and this set of scribbles is my dimensions for cutting out sections of material to make this. This is pretty much just guesswork here, so hopefully we end up with something that fits. If not, I guess we can always do it again. Right, so here's all my sections cut out. Kind of modified the shapes as I was going. Just gonna kind of sew these together and see what happens. It may or may not work. Right, first things first, the steering wheel and the gear stick gaiter both have a kind of decorative stitch on them. So I'm going to put a decorative stitch right down the center of this. So I'm just going to feed it gently through. Okay, that's the decorative bit on. So this piece here is the collar that I'm going to put elastic in. So I'm just going to put that like that and do a straight stitch along there to sew them together. So that seam is done. Now I'm going to fold that over and then fold that over like that to create the little gap to put the elastic in. And I'm going to sew that seam here. Right, seam is done. Now I've got my elastic on a safety pin, and we're going to feed it through, same as we did on the gear stick gaiter. So that is pulled through and secured on that end. I just put a wee stitch on it to hold it. Now what we're going to do is fold this over. Okay. And now from my design, I don't quite know how this end is going to connect to the other bit yet, so I'm only going to sew from halfway up to the top. Before I get to the top, I will stop and just pull that through so that it's tightened up. Let's do that now. Okay, all done. Just need to chop off this excess bit again. Right, so these squares make up the base. I'm just going to sew them into a sort of a cube type thing. Hopefully I can get them to go together. Right, so the first few cubes are sewn together, and we end up with this shape. Right, now this extra bit goes on this side here, but somehow in between there we need to attach the red bit. I realised I needed to put a curve on the back of this to sort of seal it up. This is the main bit. And then on my box, basically this edge needs to connect to this edge. Right, so I'm going to sew them together. Not that way because that's the inside, but basically there, the other way around. I'm going to go and do that now. So the red bit's sewn on. I've got this seam here sewn onto the part of the cube. And back here sewn onto the other part of the cube. Now I'm sewing up this seam. And then I just need to finish off the cube, this bit here, get sewn onto that bit there, and that will be us done. So just finishing this off. Kind of hard to do it one-handed, so I'm going to just finish that off. Last seam. Right, so hopefully now you can see the shape. I was talking about this boxy bit here, the extension bit there to go over the handbrake. Just need to turn it inside out. I have a helper here. Hey hamster. Right, so there's the cube and the gaiter, the fancy stitching on the top. So I guess it's time to try it on the car.
My gators are done. Let's have a look and see what my wife has created for me. So we're going with the burgundy and the sort of creamy grey colour again, which will match the seats nicely. Now she's left a lot of extra material at the bottom because I still don't know how I'm going to attach these to the base, you know, to the floor. This one's a very peculiar shape, apart from that obvious peculiar shape, but I've noticed that it kind of goes over that way, so I'm sure she had something in mind, which we'll find out when I try and fit them, which is what I'm going to do right now. Right, I think we'll start with the Handbrake gaiter. That's probably going to be the harder one to get on. Okay, right. I see what she's done now with the square thing. And she's left enough room so that this can maybe tuck underneath, like that somehow. Yeah, so there's enough there for stretching. Right, let's see how the shifter gaiter works. Now, I'm sure there's a front and back. I think that's the front. Oh, take this off first, make life easier. Again, there's plenty of excess for this. Nice elasticated top, make life easier. So that'll sit round about there. Nope, not straight. I need to make sure it's straight or she'll kick me in the nads. Yeah. Nice bit of fancy stitching there, matching there. Okay, so that's what she's done with this, so that it matches all the way around. And it'll be roughly the same level for the transition. Let's try it with the knob on. Lovely. Very nice. I'll give you a closer look. So you can see what she was going for here. It's trying to look like, you know, a one-piece thing, but obviously the gators are individual, so that took a fair bit of math to work out how that would line up with that. As I say, there's plenty of excess down here to either tuck it under or make a plate, whatever. And the section at the front is obviously open for discussion because I've still got my shifter cable here. I might be making a little center console for, you know, with cup holders, etc. So she hasn't cut that front section yet, but overall it's pretty nice, and it goes with the chair obviously. So what's she on next? She's got both the chairs done, she's got the gators done, steering wheels done. I think she might be working on the headrests at the moment, and then she'll be doing the whole dash, headliner and everything back here, which I've not even built yet. Looks awesome though, I'm happy. Okay, now that that distraction's over, I better get back to the doors. Again. I'm sorry, any excuse. If my glass guy calls, we'll take a wee road trip over to Cambridge and pick them up and just have a wee look round his place and give him a plug. Oh, wait, before I go, remember, if you haven't already, head over to DD Speed Shop, Dan and Danny's channel. Great channel. Anyway, if you didn't know already, they're giving away a 57 Chevy Bel Air. Once they get to 57,000 subs, I think they're about 46, 47 at the moment, and climbing quickly. So if you want a chance to win a 57 Chevy Bel Air, click up there, subscribe, let them know you're in contention. There's no chance I'm going to win it. It would look like a fix, but hey, worth a shot. Anyway, okay folks, thanks for watching today, and I'll catch up with you very soon, hopefully on the door. Remember to subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.